at Code the Dream. Welcome to everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We also want to thank the many partners, donors, funders, and mentors who make our work possible, and I see a few of you on the call today. Um, Before we get started, you may see a poll. So if you do see that, please feel free to fill that out. And we'll come back later with some of the results. Today, we'd like to give you a little insight into some of our projects. You will get to learn about some of the apps and websites that address issues such as helping farmers to get their produce to market, increasing access to education tools for children with learning differences, the impact of tech on our rural communities and the entrepreneurial spirit, and you'll meet some of our graduates. I know that not everyone here is totally familiar with Code the Dreams model, so I just wanted to do a quick overview of what we do and even more importantly, why. So maybe we can start there. We live in a time where the inequalities in our society have been laid bare and are the topic of conversations around dinner tables and boardroom tables. We see people in action on the street and on social media. While tech platforms are giving voice to many, ironically, it's an industry that excludes many. 51% of Americans are women, and roughly 40% are not white. But that's not the case in tech. With hundreds of thousands of new high-paying jobs each year in tech, less than 5% of people less than 5% of people in tech are Black or Latino, and only 1 in every 4 are women. So, how can we affect change? Well, Code the Dreams model is a unique answer that recognizes that for our students and graduates across the US, getting the basic skills in software developing is just the first step. Code the Dream starts with 6 months of totally free, intensive classes covering the fundamentals of software development. From there, students move on to get their first real-world experience as paid apprentices at Code the Dream Labs, where the goal is a win-win. Students get the hands-on experience they need to launch their new careers, and they get that experience building real apps and software platforms that address racial and social issues for those in need. We are proud that approximately 80% of our interns or apprentices go on to get jobs in the tech industry, working as software developers, business analysts, project managers, and many other types of tech-related jobs. We've come a long way since Ramiro, Dan, and Daisy got Code the Dream started. And yep, and let's say hello to Dan and Daisy. Yep, you'll hear a little bit more from them later. But now, to find out how all this began, I'd like to hand it over to Ramiro Rodriguez, co-founder and chief technology officer of Code the Dream.
Yeah, thank you, Pam. So as Pam said, the goal of Code the Dream is to help minorities and people of color in underrepresented groups get careers as software developers. And when I was in college, I had difficulty deciding what to major in because I enjoyed many different subjects. And I did computer science partly because I enjoyed playing video games, but also because it can be used to solve so many different problems. When I was in college, the STEM fields were already using software as a tool, but even areas at the time that you would not normally associate with programming were beginning to adopt its use, areas like law, sports, event organizing, even dating. So programming is an amazing tool that, but even though it's an amazing tool, is not always accessible by everyone. And as an undocumented immigrant from Mexico, I faced some challenges trying to become a software developer. Difficulties like not being able to have an internship like some of my other peers, or having people tailor their career advice to my specific situation. Eventually, though, to trial and error, I made it, and I started working in a career as a software developer. But I knew that I probably wasn't the only one facing those challenges. Then Rearick and I wanted to create an easier path for people facing challenges not fully addressed by other groups or organizations. For example, a coding apprenticeship is invaluable, and having access to people that face the same challenges that you are now facing is extremely helpful and inspiring. And knowing how those people succeeded is even more powerful. Um, and and creating tools that help your community is just like the cherry on top of that. So this is the type of community that we're trying to create here at Code the Dream with our students, apprenticeships, mentors, and volunteers. We're bringing together people from a diverse group of talented people from across the US who are building technologies that are already making a difference in people and communities in need. Whether that's launching a new business in North Carolina or helping farm workers in Washington State, it's all good. And we know that if we want to solve deeper problems, such as around poverty, discrimination, forced migration, or even the environment, we need people from diverse backgrounds and experiences from all over the country to get deeply involved in every step of the way and to have access to the tools that are going to help them to succeed. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you, Ramiro. Now, let's meet some of our apprentices, students, and apps. Again, we encourage questions, so please post them in the chat. Lori Fernald Kamala, our Director of Programs, will take a couple of questions after each demo. So again, please post your questions in the chat. But first, let's learn about Code the Dream Labs apprentice, Denelson Velasquez, who will then intro us to the Farm to Table app.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? So my name is Denelson Velasquez. I'm a full stack developer here at Code the Dream. A little about myself. I'm a 23-year-old Honduran native, and my passion for coding began when I was 13 years old. I'm currently enrolled in DACA program as well. I wanted to talk about how I became a Code the Dream lab intern and how it has helped me in my career as well as in my life in general. I found Code the Dream online when I was searching for opportunities that would help me advance in my career. Thankfully, they had an available cohort that started June 2020. I signed up and not only was I able to attend the class fully remotely, but the assignments were self-paced, which helped me transition from my current labor job. At the end of the cohort, I presented my project to Code the Dream staff, and I was hired shortly afterward as a Code the Dream lab intern, where I began my journey as a real full stack developer. From the beginning, the staff have been really hands-on and collaborative. For example, if anyone needs help, they can reach out on Slack and someone in the team will be willing to support you with the problems you're having, or at least give you guidance. This has made it simple and effective to communicate with your peers online. One of the many things that really stood out to me when I joined Code the Dream was how it is very racially diverse. As a Hispanic young adult, they made the environment feel very inviting and comfortable to speak out, which I really appreciate. Code the Dream has pushed me to do better for myself and to help the community around me. These are only some of the great potentials that they offer, and I can only expect as a community to be able to reach out to more underrepresented people so that they can have the same amazing experiences and opportunities that they deserve. Finally, I wanted to introduce the Farm to Table project, which is the first project that I was assigned to as an intern. The goal for this project is to connect farmers with restaurants, which facilitates the process of buying produce whenever they need it. I had the pleasure to work on this project, and it's exciting to be presenting all the progress we made all along the way. I want to say thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy our demo. And now I'll pass it on to Chuck.
Hi, I'm Chuck Anderson, and I'm located in Garner, North Carolina. I'm a full stack apprentice and lead developer for Code the Dream, and this time I'm proud to present our Farm to Table app. Welcome to Code the Dream's Farm to Table app. It's an initiative to connect local farms to restaurants and farmers markets. It draws inspiration from Google's simplicity and Craigslist functionality. Anyone can visit the homepage and search for available posts by search term, date, or sorting by zip. However, to see additional information, a user must be logged in, so let's go ahead and do that. Once a user is logged in, they have access to see all available posts. From here, they can refine their search by putting in a search term, and it's nice to not have to worry about small typos. They could also click on suggested search terms, or if they see a posting they like, they can click into it and get more detailed information, such as dates of availability, quantity offered, notes from the farmer, and most importantly, the contact information for the original poster. Much like Craigslist, at this point, users would have to reach out and take the transaction offline, or they could continue to search similar posts based on their search terms offered below. Another feature of the app is it allows users to make profiles to promote their business. If we click here, we can see detailed information offered by the farmer, as well as uploaded photos, ratings and reviews from other users, additional contact information, and all product offerings. One additional feature that we'll show you is the ability to plan out future transactions. So if you're logged in as a farmer, you could search to see what restaurants are looking for. So let's see what interest is in blueberries a year from now. Well, we can see that there's not much, but if we look at the related suggestions and click strawberries, we can see that there is interest from several places looking to acquire strawberries. This allows users to decide what they're going to plant in the ground and also serve on their plates. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed our presentation.
Thank you so much, Dee and Chuck. That is just awesome. I can imagine lots of small restaurants wanting to use that, as well as consumers as well. Let's see, we have a couple of questions. Starting with the Farm to Table app. And again, I'm sorry, I don't think I introduced myself. I'm Lori Kamala, Program Director of Code the Dream. So yeah, back to the app. So can other who has access to this app? Can other communities or any farmers just sign up for this? Or how would it work if somebody wanted to get connected with the app?
So right now it was initially started in Warren County, North Carolina. So that's where it'll be kind of targeted. It is open for anybody to make a profile and start posting. However, if we want to expand from that region, we would probably have to add some other capabilities, but it is possible. But with the simplicity of the idea, it should be able to multiply and replicate, kind of like Craigslist did. That's
awesome. That's great. Let's see, we have another question. This one we'll ask to Dee. Dee, thanks a lot for sharing your experience as an apprentice at Code the Dream. What is your dream job, or what do you hope to do after finishing the Code the Dream apprenticeship?
Thanks for asking, Lori. What I really want is to build an agency where I can have web services for people in my local area and possibly all over the United States, you know. That's what I hope for, and yeah.
Great, thanks. Let's see, we have a couple. We'll do one more question and we'll move on. So, in terms of someone wanting to use this app in other parts of the state or the country, like even Lenoir, Duplin County, what would someone do to get started?
They would just have to visit the homepage and sign up. From there, once they're signed up, they can view posts, and once an administrator approves them, they can start posting themselves.
That's great. And sounds like it'd be a really great opportunity for someone to do some local organizing around getting many farmers to sign up on one area. So maybe we can help connect with that. Great. Thank you guys so much. I think
Yeah.
we gotta pass on to
you.
the next demo now.
Of course.
All right, well, thank you, Dee, Chuck, and Lori. Code the Dream Labs works very closely with its clients of nonprofits, government, and business partners to bring much needed apps to communities across the states. When it comes to education, all children should have the resources to succeed. Now, I want to introduce Karen Smith Fernandez, Director of Philanthropy at Hill Learning Center, to talk about the education project that they brought to Code the Dream.
Thank you so much, Pam, and everyone who has joined today. So exciting. I am from Hill Learning Center, and Hill Learning Center is a 501c3 educational institution based in Durham. Our mission is to transform students with learning differences into confident, independent learners. Now, there's no dispute that the inability to read has devastating outcomes for students who struggle. National surveys have consistently shown that more than 60% of American fourth graders have been found to not be proficient readers, and a third of those can't even read at a basic level. This is a serious problem. This lack of effective reading instruction disproportionately impacts students of color, those from lower income families, and certainly students with learning disabilities. Our work with Code the Dream is rooted in our vision that all students with learning differences receive the instruction and support they need, regardless of where they attend school or even whether they have a formal diagnosis. Now, Hill has codified the reading curriculum delivered in our school over the last 40 years into a copyrighted methodology for instructing these struggling learners. It's called the Hill Reading Achievement Program, or Hill RAP for short. Now, this is an incredibly effective methodology that's based in structured literacy. And if anyone is interested in all the details of that, I direct you to our website, hilllearningcenter.org. When we implement Hill RAP, it does require currently that both the teacher and student each have iPads. Now, this reliance on iPads is both a financial and technological barrier, as very few school districts support expensive iPad technology, and most students definitely do not have iPads at home. So in partnership with Code the Dream, Hill is migrating the Hill RAP digital app to a browser-based platform that would be accessible to teachers and students from any internet-connected device. Huge access. Last year, Hill trained 625 educators who delivered Hill RAP to 6,500 students across 7 states. I actually learned yesterday we've expanded to 9 states. Our projections show that with this migration and our partnership with Code the Dream and some other improvements, that we'll serve over 28,000 students annually and train 2,400 educators to deliver Hill RAP, and we should be able to do that within 3 years. That's 3 times our current reach, and we'll only go up from there. Now I'm really happy to introduce one of our wonderful team partners at Code the Dream, who's going to demonstrate one of the components of the Hill RAP app, Maria Andrea.
Thank you, Karen. And hi, everyone. So my name is Maria Andrea. I am a Rearick front-end developer intern at Code the Dream. And I am a girl who was born and raised in Venezuela. But I had to suddenly leave my country to come to the United States, leaving everything there. In Venezuela, I was studying informatic engineering. And besides facing country situation, I also did face the fact of being the only girl in a classroom of around 20 to 25 students. When I came to the United States, I couldn't continue my studies. Instead, I started working as a waitress in a restaurant. But when I found Code the Dream, they have trusted on me. They have given me the opportunity to improve my skills, and it gave me back my dream of becoming a software developer. Not only do I get to work on life-changing apps like Hill RAP, but I also part of an all-woman team on this project. And that's the way how Code the Dream changed life and changed our communities. I am super thankful with Code the Dream. Now let's explore the component of this Hill RAP application. All right, so this is the Hill Learning Center application, which has teacher side and student side. Two of the most important features of this application is that teacher and student both are getting real-time feedback, and also that it is available for different screen devices, which make it more accessible. I'm gonna log in with my credentials on teacher side in order to show you a short demo how this feedback works. From here, we can see all the schools on this application, and we can pick the first one, Code Dream, and here we can see all the classes on this specific school. I'm going to use my class, and once we are in a class, this is the home section for a teacher, where teacher can see all the students in this class and also the components where teacher needs to go through with a student or a group of students. We're going to talk about a specific component, the vocabulary one. This component use words. We can see test, bat, max, and cat. Each word needs to complete different activities. We can see all the icons here, which means those are the required activities per word. From here, teacher can add or remove a specific activity too. Let's do an example of the cat. Cat needs to complete definition and picture. In order to get that real-time feedback, we need to connect a student with this specific session. For that, we're going to use this pin number at the bottom on the student side, which is 134701. We're going to do here 134701. Then we can select the specific student. We're going to use the first one, and this is the home section for a student. Teacher needs to start the vocabulary once the student is connected. We're going to start it, and these respective words are being sending to student, and we can see it here on the student side, all the words with their respective activities. We were talking about cat, and the student needs to complete definition and picture. Let's do definition is an animal, and from a picture, a student can draw anything. Let's try to draw a cat, and student now can send the information once the progress bar is 100% way to teacher. If we go back to teacher's side, we can see the information from the student on real time, and from here teacher can also grade it as correct or as do it again. Once the teacher done the grading, same way a student gets the information on real time, which is the graded activities. We can see it completed and redo, and the progress bar is halfway because needs to do this one again, and also we can see the others activities needs to be complete per each word. This is pretty much how this component works, sending the real-time information to teacher and teacher to student. Thank you, guys.
That was awesome. Thank you so much for that great demo. It's so engaging to see how it works. Let's see. One question is this an app that any school can use? How can we bring this app to our school?
Yeah, thank you so much for that great question. And the answer is yes, this is an app that can be brought to any school. And you would just need to get in touch with our program officer for district outreach. And we would just need to connect with the district or with a parent who's interested in bringing the app to their child's school, or with a teacher in the school. We can work through any of those avenues to bring the HillRep app to any school anywhere.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. Great work. Maria Andrea, it was so inspiring to hear your story, especially about hearing that you were, the only girl in your class in Venezuela. And then here you are working on a team of all women to make this incredible app. What advice would you share with other young women who are pursuing tech careers?
Thank you. I have a thought, and it is a thought of Carla Fiona, a politician. She said, if someone believes they are limited by their gender, race, or background, they will become more limited. So do not be afraid of breaking the ice in touch, and recognize and embrace you are unique, and always try to do your best. Always improve your skills. That will be my suggestion.
That's awesome. Thank you both so much. We really appreciate it. I think we're going to move on to the next one now. So back to Pam.
Well, thank you, Karen and Maria Andrea. And thank you to organizations like Hill Center for bringing projects that are helping people to make the world a better place and more equitable. Now, let's meet Code the Dream co-founder, former student, and board member, Daisy Magnus Ayete, who will speak about Code the Dream's efforts to address the effect of tech on rural communities and with entrepreneurs.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Pam. My name is Daisy Magnus Aite, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm always thrilled to hear about the work that Code the Dream is doing. It's truly inspiring, truly innovative work. In technology, when we say a technology is innovative, it's often described as disruptive, meaning that it has the potential to impact our systems, our society, our culture in ways that are both positive and potentially negative. So if you take, for example, the way in which emerging technologies have affected traditional entrepreneurial industries like manufacturing and commerce, disruptive innovation in these sectors have created greater convenience for some communities while reducing economic opportunities for others. And the result is a rural-urban wealth gap, which has grown dramatically over the last 3 decades. At Code the Dream, we understand that the fundamental relationship between technology and economic opportunity. Our unique and in many ways disruptive model strives to make a decidedly positive impact. In 2020, we were excited to launch the Rural Tech Initiative, a program to serve diverse entrepreneurs and developer apprentices in rural North Carolina. CTD is extremely thankful for our partners who are helping to support economic development through technology-driven entrepreneurship and skills training. I'm really excited to introduce CTD student Grant Young. He's one of the participants in the Rural Tech Initiative. Grant is joining us via pre-recorded video.
Hello. I couldn't be there with you guys today, but I hope this video will be helpful. My name is Grant Young. I'm 27, and I've been with Code the Dream since November of last year. One of the reasons I got into software development was just with COVID happening and everything, it was just something that I thought would be helpful. I've been a lifeguard for nearly a decade, so I've always had the knowledge of when it comes to something that takes a certification jobs are going to be jobs or things that it takes a little bit longer to learn. That's going to be a valuable skill and asset. So coming from a lifeguard background, I knew, okay, I need to find something that is going to be very particularly skill based that not a lot of people are going for, and something that's going to be able to be done remotely, because that's one of the biggest issues. Being a lifeguard, if there's no pool, then I can't really do anything. um, Being that I am from a rural area, I currently live in Brown Summit. There isn't a lot of opportunities for coding. There aren't a lot of opportunities for coding in my area. The most that we got is, the high schools and middle schools in the area, but there's nothing else besides the things are online. So I'm very thankful that Code the Dream was something that was available online for me to do, which is something that I think is so different about Code the Dream, is that they were able to make these classes available for people online and have it so people could, sorry, need to take a breath. It's so people can interact with the mentors and interact with the students. I'm currently a college student myself taking online classes, and I haven't seen my teacher nor any of my classmates' faces since I started the semester at the top of the year. So the beautiful thing about Code the Dream is Code the Dream tells you to take 2 mentor sessions a week, and then within those mentor sessions, you could also get to interact with fellow classmates, and then you create your own community of people who come together and help each other out. And I think that's so great that Code the Dream has a Slack channel and all these different things for people to be able to create and form this community. And because of that, I believe my thoughts have changed about the future. I definitely feel being a part of Code the Dream has given me more of a solid platform to stand on to understand what my next choice in life, where my path is going. Because for a long time, I've always been an aimless person, and definitely having Code the Dream push me in a direction and give me a concrete platform to stand on has made me feel a lot better about what's going to happen in the future. I still don't know what's going to be out there, but I definitely know that Code the Dream is now starting to light up the road that I once thought was dark. And as for future students and people who are supporting us and people who work for Code the Dream, I'd like to say thank you to you all. You all are awesome and special and are allowing people like myself and others to be able to do this. If you're coming into Code the Dream, good luck. As long as you put the work and effort into it, that is, the Code the Dream will be one of the best things that you've ever done. And thank you to Lori and everybody else who gave me the opportunity to be able to speak upon Code the Dream and speak for myself as a current student, and hopefully, be one of the people who get to be part of the internship. So I just want to say everybody have a great and awesome day, and appreciate everything that you all are doing, and good luck to all you new students and current students. This is Grant Young signing out. Bye.
Thank you, Grant. Educating new students is just one way we are supporting folks in rural areas. In the age of Amazon, it can be really hard to start a new Main Street business, particularly for people of color and especially in rural areas. Two key focuses for Code the Dream. Next, I'd like to introduce you to CTD web developer Alex Rodriguez, who will share with you a website she developed for two new entrepreneurs.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Rodriguez. I moved to the US from Mexico almost 20 years ago. I struggled for many years after being here, but after DACA was passed, I found Code the Dream, and it opened up a whole new world of possibilities for me. For the last 2 years, I've been a web developer at Code the Dream, building websites for nonprofits, businesses, and community groups. I also got the opportunity to help support Code the Dream's Rural Tech Initiative, and I want to share with you one of these projects. I'm just gonna pass it on to my past self right now.
Earlier this year, I had the chance to build a website for a health food store in Eastern North Carolina, owned by two Black entrepreneurs. Their shop is called Nature's Manna. The owner had a Facebook page, but other than that, they didn't have any web presence at all. So here you can see the website and also the shop. When I spoke to Alicia, one of the owners recently, she told me that a man had just come into the store because he found it online. And she has also been getting more phone calls of people who found the store from the website. That made me feel really good to know that they're getting a lot more businesses already. And that is a way that Code the Dream can help small entrepreneurs like them. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Daisy and Alex. You've seen and heard about some of the things that were currently happening at Code the Dream. But now I'd like to introduce Dan Rearick, who is Code the Dream's co-founder and executive director, to share some insights on what's next.
Thanks, Pam. One thing I think might not be clear to everyone and still seems a little crazy to me is that these projects you've seen today are just 3 out of about 20 projects our teams have worked on this year. There's a lot going on. Since 2018, Code the Dream has grown by more than 500%. We've gone from working in one state to working nationwide with students and partners in more than a dozen states. But even with that growth, we can't keep up with demand. Despite that growth, we still get about 5 times more applicants than we have capacity to accept into Code the Dream right now, which really felt good at first when we saw how many people saw Code the Dream as their opportunity, but we would love to be able to reach the other 4 out of 5. And that's because it really can be a life-changing experience. Over 80% of Code the Dream apprentices go on to a career in tech, oftentimes going from struggling to get by to, I think what we'd call stable middle-class careers, and all that comes with that, a feeling of security, having health insurance, being able to buy a house. With the help of our partners and donors, we want more people to have this opportunity. By 2025, we aim to grow by another 500% and to serve students in all 50 states. That also means continuing to grow the impact of the new technologies our Code the Dreamers are building, from more people able to access locally farmed produce to more kids getting the help they need to learn to read. And also all the projects that you didn't see today, addressing criminal justice reform, healthcare, issues facing immigrant and refugee communities. It's kind of just the tip of the iceberg, what you've seen today. So thank you again to all of you who are really making that possible. And now I'd like to introduce one of our Code the Dream graduates, Marcus Mitchell, who's now a systems analyst at Relevant CRM. So to do that, I will also hand it back to Pam.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Marcus, for joining us. Again, I just want to encourage people to put questions in the chat. We'd be happy to answer them. But let's continue and let's talk with Marcus. Like Grant, who you just saw, Marcus was a student and did get to become a Code the Dream Lab apprentice. But since then, Marcus, how has your life changed?
My life has changed a lot for the better. Before Code the Dream, I was working a lot of dead-end jobs that, there wasn't a lot of sort of mobility. There wasn't, room for growth. And, frankly, I was doing jobs that I didn't really like. And, Code the Dream, after that, I've now gotten a career change into tech. I have a job that I really like. I've been able to, I've been able to take these skills I learned at Code the Dream and get onto the pathway that has a lot of upward mobility. And, and I've been able to, just get, a bunch of benefits that I'd never seen before. It's really just been an amazing change. So, yeah, and that's really the answer that I've got for that.
And Code the Dream, we do make some life-changing, things for our students, but how did they help you prepare for sort of this life change?
Well, they gave me the foundation, both from a standpoint of, learning how to code, and also from practice of agile development, and also from learning just how to approach new problems that you deal with and learning new things as you go along in your job. One of the things that's involved in being in tech is, basically being a lifelong learner. And that's really been, very, a helpful thing that I learned in Code the Dream. When I got in my current job, I was using a tech stack that was completely unfamiliar to me. Literally nothing that we did was stuff that I had really worked on before. And, I was able to take lessons that I'd learned from Code the Dream and apply them to the new things that I was learning. And, I was also prepared to, collaborate and sort of talk about what I was working on in a way that I just would not have meant otherwise. And, working with, say, Crystal and Cruz, they answered so many questions when I was in Code the Dream, and they were able to be models that I was able to use to sort of follow in the process. So, like, how would Crystal handle this? How would Cruz handle this? I was able to do that, and and also they answered a lot of questions for me along the way.
Could you have imagined this career for yourself if you looked at younger Marcus?
I could have imagined a career in tech, but I could not have imagined the pathway of getting there. And that's what Code the Dream was really instrumental in. When I got into Code the Dream, I was doing some things on my own, trying to learn how to do this, but there's just so much to learn that I just didn't know, that would have been very difficult for me to sort of have picked up. And, Code the Dream was super helpful in giving me a structured pathway with mentorship and guidance to go about doing sort of every part of things, from the standpoint of, preparing for interviews, from a standpoint of, just knowing how to do things, from a standpoint of knowing what comes next once you learn one thing. It was just, sort of the whole way down. So all the things that I didn't know, Code the Dream always had answers to help me out.
Great, thank you. Is there anything perhaps that I haven't asked you that you would like to tell the audience about Code the Dream or your experiences?
Yeah, Code the Dream gives valuable experience, teaches real skills and gives guidance and mentorship. I mean, those things I've said before, but you're actually working when you're with Code the Dream as certainly as an apprentice, you're working on real projects. I mean, we've seen the demos that have gone before, that are meaningful and that you can feel good about. And the thing that I can say for sure is Code the Dream shows how possible it is to learn the skills necessary to get into the tech industry, and it shows you how possible it is to actually achieve that and make it happen.
Well, thank you, Marcus, for joining us. We certainly appreciate having you here. I think, and now we can go to Lori.
Yeah, hi, thank you. Thanks, Pam and Marcus. It's so exciting to see you thriving in your new career. Again, if folks have questions for Marcus or for Dan or Daisy for that matter, feel free to put your questions in the chat, and we're hoping to have a little bit more time for questions at the end. I'm going to talk right now a little bit about how to get more involved with Code the Dream. Like all our participants, Marcus benefited from having professional developers mentor him, like he talked about, Cruz and Crystal and others. And now Marcus himself is giving back by serving as a mentor in our classes. So from providing free classes to supporting our apprentices as they get their first job in tech, our program simply wouldn't be possible without the many volunteers who serve as mentors, project coaches, or company-sponsored teams offering panels on career advice. So if this is our invitation, if you're looking to have a meaningful and impactful experience while sharing your expertise or interests, as if you're software developers out there, we'd love to have you join as a volunteer. You can see all of the available opportunities at codethedream.org/volunteer or /volunteer-opportunities. And in addition to volunteering, there's other ways to support Code the Dream as well, like working with us to build your next app. And you can find out about how to do that at codethedream.org/services. You can also hire our graduates. We're always looking for great opportunities for our graduates. And of course, one of the very most important things is making a contribution to our work. So I'm going to turn it back over to Pam now to share how to do that.
Yes, and we are grateful for all the support that we have received for our students and our work. It's really a gift that just keeps on giving. So whether it's giving someone the opportunity to gain skills that can totally change their lives, as you've heard from Marcus and Grant and Maria Andrea and Dee, or whether it's an app that will have a meaningful impact on communities in need. We highlighted some today, such as the Hill Wrap and our Farm to Table app, and Alex's work on Nature's Manna. So we ask that if you can, today or tomorrow, please consider making a donation to Code the Dream so that we can continue to build the skills that make the world and our community and our communities a little bit better. Of course, we've made it very easy for you to make a one-time or monthly sustaining donation. If you go to codethedream.org/donate, you can just click on and that'll take you to the link. At this point, I'd like to thank you very much. Before we close out, Lori, do we have any more questions?
I don't see any more questions at this time. I think if some people want to stay around a little bit longer for a conversation, some of us might be able to do that, but I think we're good.
Okay, great. Yes, so at this time, the Code the Dream Spring 2021 demo day is officially over. However, the staff and students and apprentices, we're going to stay on a little bit longer. So please feel free to visit with us virtually, ask questions. We are here to answer them. So again, thank you all very much for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the time with us, because we certainly enjoyed having you here with us today.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, anybody who wants to is welcome to stay, but we are also aware that many of you have jobs where you have extreme Zoom fatigue, and getting off 10 minutes early would be awesome as well. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and a few of us will stay around. But thank you to everyone else for coming. We really appreciate it.